All right, we're back, and we got a special one today. This guy's been mentioned a bunch of times, and we got my best friend here, Ryan Whiteley. Thanks for joining, pal.
Absolutely. How are we doing?
Oh, doing great. So I feel like I have a lot of things to address because you've been mentioned a few times on here, for
Yeah.
good reason, and others maybe,
Well, hopefully.
yeah, maybe some jealousy by me at a young age. Who knows? But I think a lot of people that have known you and will know you in the future when they take a look at this. So thanks for again for joining.
Absolutely wouldn't miss it.
All right. So this is going to be a fun podcast because there's really no angle for us. Introduction for Ryan into my life, as some of you might have heard from Ty's podcast, was he was the other linebacker and fullback for Council Rock, but he played for Council Rock South. And there was only really one difference between Council Rock North and Council Rock South football, and it was the win column. South had a lot of
I was
wins,
going to chime in
and
and say
North
that, but
did
I was
not.
letting you finish. I was like, yeah, a
Yeah.
lot more wins than one.
Yes. So the story has it that, I feel as if Ryan and I both knew of each other playing sports against each other in middle school and high school. And of course, as you become more of a prominent figure in football, you see like that's the other captain, I'm the other captain over here. But the funny thing about Ryan was he's best friends with this guy named Anthony, and you can probably talk more to Anthony's friendship together. But it was happens to be a guy that I went to pre-K with, and I was thick as
Yep.
thieves with. I stayed close with him, so I was close with Anthony, from afar. And he mentioned to me, I forget when it was, whenever we were looking to go to college, but Anthony also played football, very good football player, just like Ryan. And I wasn't really close with Ryan at the time, but I was close enough with Anthony to be like, "Hey, what college is coming to visit today? Here's what came to North. They're probably coming to South right now."
Yep.
And so the fun process of really being recruited, and then he's like, "Hey, you're thinking about Ithaca. So is Whiteley. You should reach out to him." And I was like, God, that guy.
Damn it. I don't want to talk to that
but
guy.
but yeah, it that's the start of how Ryan and I became roommates at Ithaca College, and the rest is history. Made a lifelong friend forever, and I'm grateful for him to kick my ass in high school, and then put up with
Oh,
my shit.
you returned the favor in college. Don't worry.
There you go. Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go. So, right, that's my I guess that's my girlish, like, I don't know what I said on the podcast with Ty, but that kind of that's my take. All I had was, I guess, like, you fair caught something. I forget which years, maybe sophomore
It was
or,
junior.
or whatever.
Sophomore year, yeah.
Sophomore year,
And
you
then
fair
Cal
caught like a
Parker.
kickoff, and then our boy Cal Parker's Steph Cooper,
Yeah.
everyone, his fiance, put a good licking on you. I think that's the only thing we had on South, and it was a fair catch of some sort. So
Yeah. Which, in theory, was illegal to hit me. But yeah, we'll do it. We'll go
yeah,
with that.
yeah, that was all good fun though. But um, yeah, dude, thanks for coming on. I think a lot of these themes when we talk about in the climb, talk about friendship and keeping the conversation open. It's truly amazing, like how your friendship comes to light. Anytime in need, and it's not just for me. It's for everyone that's in your life. And you are a hardworking, blue collar, manly man, country man. But I'll tell you what, you have probably one of the sweetest hearts that I know, and I know my whole family and friends would agree with that. So. Um, yeah, dude. Any kind of, like, from your standpoint, you want to kind of talk to how I came into your life, like maybe just a little bit stranger than some of your other friends.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
Jake or Alex put a Facebook tag you and something.
I mean, I don't know how deep we can go in here about what they said verbatim, but
Yeah, you can just skip around that, but
all right.
yeah.
Randomly, I got a message from his buddy Jake and Alex saying like, "Oh, you're taking over the role of like being AJ's roommate. Here's a few things that you should know." Like, oh God, the things that they said, mostly all true. I mean,
Yeah,
we'll leave
right.
it at that. But there was a lot of what do you call it?
Falsehoods and
Yeah, I'm not even gonna go there.
exaggerations. Yeah,
Eh,
yeah,
you
yeah.
definitely snore when you sleep. I'll tell you that.
I don't think I do it anymore. I lost quite a bit of weight
Yeah,
with some changes, but I was bad. Yeah. I mean, speaking of that, right? There's stories of us rooming together, but I guess like something when I look about like our friendship and the start of it was, I don't know, probably for everyone like some of
senior
the
week.
best. What?
Senior week when I went over to your house
Oh
with
my
Miss
god.
with all those guys, Jake,
Yeah.
Alex, everyone was over there making what
Yeah.
was it, pork roll, egg and cheese. It was the best 5-star restaurant you can go to for senior week.
Exactly. Yeah. And then, go down to your guys' spot and get a citation. Uh
That's pretty much what it was.
yeah. Which actually, was really interesting too. Like as naive as, anyone would be at age like 16 or 15 to think, someone that lives 10 miles away or five minutes away was like, your arch rival. You go in like senior week and you're like, man, these guys are pretty freaking awesome. Like,
Yeah,
kind of
we're
like
all
hanging out
cut
with
from the
these
same
guys.
cloth, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all
Yeah.
cut from the same cloth, and we all get along. That was like pretty much our whole class. Like everyone got along with everyone. No, they went to north or south, whatever. Once all the football, whatever rivalries were done, like everyone just came together.
Yeah, I mean, I might have been like the only one of a few that only cared for football, but but yeah, I mean, I think it just kind of it says a lot just in general about people and they could be kind of open to new situations and I feel as if like your friends, which by the way, crazy that like every single guy in your grade is friends with each other.
Yeah,
Like there's just
yeah,
like
it's
this
wild.
linear friendship that everyone's
I
cool
mean,
and
you may not hang out with them every day or on the weekends or whatever, but when you see them, it's a friendly conversation. Like, oh, how you been? How you doing? Like, what's new? And I mean,
yeah, it never felt like, oh yeah, like we just play baseball together or hey we play football. It's like no, we're all in the same grade and we've been talking to each other since seventh grade and played Northampton Indians football and apparently all of us went to Orlando or something and won a championship.
no, I was
Yeah,
too heavy to make that team. I was a chubby kid that back in was it fifth or sixth grade.
yeah. What was it? The quarter keg or something like that?
That wasn't until high school.
Yeah, yeah. With the two PB and J diet. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good diet though. Good diet. So let me ask you this. I like think about how like our friendship started, and it was really like, and I kind of write about this now too. It was freshman year, right? Like, which some people could probably say is the best year of their life. Like, but
It's
how
yeah,
do
it's one
you
of the
like
best.
see it? Yeah, it was fantastic. I mean, all the friendships and new beginnings and such. But I was kind of writing about it, kind of referencing that moment in time, before a lot of things happened with me, as like this euphoric time that like you're finally free, you're finally on your own, you're kind of like meeting all these friends and I guess like I don't know, maybe you can paint a picture to that situation because we went to Ithaca, which is a beautiful spot. It's a smaller college, not the smallest, and played football, but maybe you could talk to like how I guess freeing that experience really was and how close these friendships that we still have are.
Yeah, like the first thing I remember when we went to college was basically it felt like you and I against everyone else because we knew no one else. Like even though we weren't that close in high school, and you might have hated my guts, but once we went to somewhere different, you were the closest thing I had to a friend.
Yeah.
Like going up there and like doing something new. So I remember one time you told me like I don't know, it could have been one of our first nights out or whatever, and you're like, I would literally give you the shirt off my back if you needed it. And like right there and then, I was just like, this guy is just like a brother at this point. And then
Yeah.
even though like even after camp, we're locked up together in this little dorm and just like at first you don't want to get on each other's nerves, but then you get on each other's nerves about the stupidest stuff ever. And
Yeah.
like we can get in an argument or a fight, and then the next day just wake up like we're good, yeah. And then that's
Yeah.
when you know it's just like all right, we're boys, we're brothers.
Yeah, it's it's very much like a relationship, just
Yeah,
a
yeah.
moody relationship. And it's funny, like yeah, I definitely probably said something along those lines, but probably later that night I lost my shirt and you gave me yours. Like, that was definitely fun. And I just I'm remembering back, right? Like we didn't really make a lot of trouble. But we had a football team. Like we all we did was hang out with the football players.
Yeah,
And if there was a fight with the football players against someone else, all the football players would come to each other's rescue.
yeah,
I do not remember all the specific details, but one night we were riding back on the T-Cat, which was this bus from downtown, like up the frigid hills of Ithaca. And I don't know what happened. Some fight broke out between some group and then, us group of five, five, let's just call it like baseball players, wrestlers, I don't know, and then five football players. And so we get into this little scuff, like right outside these dorm rooms, and before we're walking up to our own. And then I don't know how it happened, but I was standing over someone, and we were throwing punches, and then someone got to the ground, and then I started connecting. And I started connecting, but I realized it
it
was
was me.
actually
It
Whiteley.
was me. Because I'm trying to pull you back, and I'm like, dude, it's me. Like, what do you want to do? And they're like, oh, I'm sorry. That was the end of that.
Yeah. Yeah, that was it's amazing too. It's not like it was like a forgotten, night where we were too drunk, we don't remember what happened. I remember being like, "Oh shit!" Like, what's going on?
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, but it's good. I mean, I think it's really important. Like that was obviously such an important time for me, just because I mean, we both grew up pretty much in the same area, and we both had really good upbringings. Maybe not like the most privileged. Both our parents come from a hardworking background, and it was like very, I don't know, freeing to just like, man, now I can go like earn my keep and
yeah,
go to school, go to football, like live on our own. And like yeah, like the first day that we were dropped off, it was like, holy shit, like what's up, dude? Like
yeah.
are we gonna do this thing? Like, but
We're not getting married. We're
it's
not getting married here, but yeah.
absolutely, you
Like,
you had me for life, so I don't know about that, pal. um but yeah, man, it was a great time, and to kind of fast forward to like all these experiences that we had, and it wasn't just like me and Ryan like by ourselves. We like grew such a great family of friends, and it was just such a great time to be there, and it almost like leaving Ithaca from freshman year, we were all excited for like our futures, and I think all of us, somehow we were gonna have like 10, senior football captains when we were all seniors, and we were all gonna be starters and all Americans and do whatever it might be. And we were, gonna all hang out and have this like great ride together. And I remember taking that excitement like into seeing my friends from North,
yeah,
and then it's like, yo, White, come on, come hang out. And so our friends started to hang out and all that stuff, and we start partying and having this type of excitement, just kind of extending it. And
yeah,
that was the summer that I was diagnosed with bipolar the first time, and it's kind of crazy to kind of go from like the top of the world to like the top of the universe because you're in a manic episode and you don't know what's going on.
yeah,
So I guess let me turn it to you, like being there, like seeing me, honestly at every level, like first year of college, and becoming like that instant brother. Like, what was your experience, kind of rolling into summer, and then I guess maybe seeing the wheels fall off, and which no one knew what was really going on. So,
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you couldn't even tell. Like once that freshman year was done, like you had no idea. Like I would never be able to tell. And I just remember getting a phone call one night saying like, "Hey man, like I'm like, what's up?" And he's like, and it's probably like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, and I gotta get up early for my summer job at that point. And you're like, I just really need to talk to someone. Like I'm like, all right, I'm here. He's like, all right, can I come over? I'm like, yeah, absolutely, come on over, no problem. And I remember sitting down on the couch with you, and you're like, I got these demons. I can't explain it, but I got these demons that I need to get off my chest, but I can't express how I feel. So I
mhm.
was like, all right. So I told you, I was like, all right, just stay here for the night. Like, I'll set you up on the couch, and just so we can like talk about it, like with a clear mind in the morning. But when you're in that state, you weren't really getting that much sleep whatsoever. Like, you're just kind of overly tired because your mind was racing in 10 different directions.
Mhm.
And so when I got up in the morning, like you're already gone. And then later that afternoon, like, all right, let's meet up for Buffalo Wild Wings. I was like, all right, we'll go grab something to eat and we'll see how that goes from there. But then later that night, seems that I guess you went into, got checked into the Doylestown Hospital, and that's when they first
Mhm.
diagnosed you with your bipolar disorder.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it's surreal to like think about too, because that was so many people's first experience. And it doesn't make it easy that like I'm kind of an energetic person already. I'm already kind of
Yeah,
chatty and like already kind of like quick and loud and repetitive. And it almost like felt like and this is just manic episodes, like you don't know when the wheels come off. When the all four wheels are gone and you're grinding on the ground, like, the
yeah,
car is completely off the road. And that's such the, dangerous part about it. Um, and obviously, like, it goes past just like the first episode. I mean, I've written about, our experiences together, and, how in moments where like I feel like I couldn't trust anyone, I've had to reach out to you, which says a lot about your character, considering that, I have a lot of people that I can make that phone call to. But it almost like kind of like going back and reliving those experiences, it's just like you never know what anyone is going through and
yeah,
how you handled it. And um man, I don't know what it was, but maybe it was when we were living together, someone made a comment about like emotional intelligence or whatever, and I'm like, dude, Whiteley has like the best like, you are so caring and calm in a even every moment. And I think that's like one of your best qualities that maybe doesn't get enough light, that you just described. Like, I mean, we're talking, I was less than 24 hours to being checked in, less than 24 hours to be going through a delusional state where I'm running through the streets without clothes on. Like,
yeah,
and you were there for me, and and everything you said is exactly how people should handle it.
yeah.
Um, so I mean, I
Well,
appreciate everything
not
you
not
have.
to cut yeah, not to cut you off there, but actually, out of a business class in college, and you have to take an emotional intelligence class, I actually scored terrible. I was terrible in that class, but
Maybe
that's
that's what it was.
well,
Maybe that's
yeah.
what it was. I don't
Well,
believe.
maybe. No, I just don't like. I know I understand street smarts. Like, if you give me a book and like this is they show me a picture, and be like, how's this person feeling? I was like, I don't know how this person's feeling from their facial expressions. Like, just
Yeah,
like I couldn't tell like that you were going through a manic episode, but now hindsight, like knowing what I know now, like now I know your cues and like stuff like that. If ever see you doing like some of those similar traits again, then
yeah,
I know like something's not right. And
yeah,
instead of getting as deep into the rabbit hole as you did, like
yeah,
you can go get help sooner or like talk to someone sooner before it snowballs into something crazy.
yeah. No, totally. I think that's like a really great way to like not give up like on your friend if you're supporting a friend. It's just like, all right, how do I grow with them? And
Yeah.
and you, among others, have like done that. And it's like, if I call you at 9:30 on a, right now, if I
Yeah.
call you at 9:30 on a Tuesday and say, hey, I need to sleep, in the house. I'll sleep at the bottom of Lawson's crib. I got some demons. You're probably like, all right, dude, like, where's that medication that we need to take? Let's level
Yeah,
out. Let's get you some,
yeah,
like, 12 hours of sleep, and then let's go get some morning food and coffee. But it's almost like, like I just had to kind of fall on my face a bunch to realize what works. But I don't really know where I would be if I didn't have people like yourself and others that are just, I guess, really just kind of embracing as much impact as they could.
yeah,
You know, like kind of keeping it like if we're bowling, the bumpers were on as best as they could. Eventually, I still didn't,
yeah.
still
You can
got
still
like
get a gutter ball
yeah,
in
still
those
got a
bumpers.
gutter at the end, but yeah, but yeah, man. I mean, I really appreciate that, and it's funny. It definitely was the test score. You didn't test well,
Yeah,
and yeah, maybe it's you have instead of street smarts, it's street emotions, and you
yeah,
don't have
something
any
like
book emotions.
that. Yeah, none whatsoever.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So I think it's kind of cool to also just when I talk about friendship, I know how much your friends mean to you and vice versa, but it's been so cool to be embraced by your friends as you brought really a guy that I knew in high school that I hung out with a couple times, but Ty, you know,
Yeah,
and I spoke about it. Would love to talk to you all about like that type of friendship, but it almost like we found all three of us in a situation that was unfortunate. Like we all got dumped and we were all
yeah,
young. And and you guys definitely let me join your soirees and your
yeah,
your your events. But I think that's kind of the true sign of like, good friendships is kind of being welcoming anyone to the party. And that
yeah.
certainly, was good for us all.
Yeah, I enjoyed. I mean, even though hindsight what was that 7, 8 years ago now, but like I still can remember all those times that we had, all those memories that we made. Like they're all locked in there forever.
Yeah.
And it was just definitely a point in time where we all needed that. Like we're just coming to the point where we just graduated college and we're transitioning from college life to like adulthood, where it's just like that's when the whole world comes down. Like, oh God, like I need to get a job. Like I need to just live on my own. I need to like, well, you don't have to live on your own, but me, I had to get out of the house. That was just my first thing is I'm not going back to my parents. And similar, let them know we start living together again. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, but in that point in time, like that was probably the best thing that could have happened for all of us. It was just such a growing experience,
Yeah.
and yeah, it was just great.
Yeah. It like growing experience, like perfect way to put it. Like I tell to everyone that like is like, oh man, like I think I'm gonna move out, or anyone that's like willing to hear me, but like, man, like you won't like know what you're made of until you're on your own.
Yeah.
Like it's your like you have to pay the bills. Like you're the one that has to do that. And I remember like the first month that we started living together, I'm like, I don't know what's going on with this money here. Like I gotta get like I have to like this needs to be organized. And that's where I started became like extremely frugal and budget oriented. But I was like, whoa, this is different. Like
Yeah.
this is a lot of money coming out and yeah, but you're right. It was such a great, time, a lot of learning experiences. But I also think, part of it was like not taking life so serious, right? Like
Yeah.
we all, I mean, you were, just starting, a business,
Yeah.
partnering with your dad, a lot of stress there, just kind of starting up the ground. Ty and I were both trying to really carve our teeth into like any type of professional career or whatever job we had. And I think like just the simplicity of life is like kind of like what everyone should be, shooting for. It's like not everything needs to be so serious. Like go, forget about all these types of things that you could do or achieve. Like go be around people you want to, like jet ski, go, to the bars and hang out and, be around people and, these things that when you finally get, when, anyone gets basically tied down, right, in a committed relationship, it's like, I have no regrets. Like I had a fantastic time. I like let it loose, but I also just like enjoyed every moment. And I feel like that would just really easy with us at that time.
Yeah, and it's basically what you just said. Like the enjoy the simple things in life. Like don't be so stressed about finances and all that stuff. I mean, yeah, work's crazy, money helps, but like coming home, walking through the door, see my wife and my kid, like that's just enjoy that moment. You know what I mean? It's like that's the moments you got to take in,
Yeah.
and it's there's no I can't tell you express like the feeling that you get when I come home and I see my son and he's just looking at me and smiling after a long day's work. I'm like, dude, I could have the crappiest day ever, but I see you giggle when you're just laying there playing with your toys. It makes everything just go away.
Yeah, I mean, it puts things in perspective, especially when you have like this baby model that Lawson is. For the audience, and if Nicole, if you're listening to this, and Ryan never told you, I definitely think that Lawson should be a model, and you should make money off of him. He is adorable, every picture, and he looks like he should be in Disney Channel. So there you
Yeah.
go. There's my glowing endorsement for Lawson to be
Well,
in the Disney Channel.
just get
So
this as a million shares and maybe we will. Who knows?
yeah, we'll have to maybe share what the Yardleys said about me on Facebook, and this will go viral.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So I mean, let's talk about that, man. I mean, um, you, I've like, actually, I think I said this to Nicole. Hopefully, I did. Maybe I didn't. But like, you've never looked at anyone other than Nicole like you do at Lawson, man. And I know how much you care about him and everything. And I guess like what does it like I guess mean to you to be a young father and I know everything you do it with a meaning and purpose. So I'm guessing he has a lot to do with that now.
Yeah. I mean, it's there's things that you just can't describe about like yeah, the sleepless nights and all that stuff. That's nothing compared to like watching him achieve his milestones. Like he can fight like his teeth came in, like him
Mhm.
clapping like he clapped his hands when he do it and he like from him just sleeping in your arms 24/7 when he was an infant, like 1 month old, to now like he recognizes who I am and he recognizes my voice. And same with Nicole, he recognizes Nicole's voice, and he just that those smiles that you get when you look at him, just you can't imagine what's going through his mind except for that's mom and dad. Like that's
Mhm.
and yeah, he's not going to remember it, but we'll remember it forever.
Yeah. It kind of was like awesome to see you actually become an uncle. Because that is where like it was like, wow, he's gonna be like a great dad. And of course Nicole is just
Yeah.
phenomenal. And you have a ways to go with as many kids as you guys both agreed on. I believe you have a firm agreement.
Yeah, well, we're bringing that down a little bit now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, but
um
no, my niece and nephew, yeah, absolutely, Ava and Aiden, they were great practice, like getting prepared to be parents and stuff like that, and that's really what made Nicole and I just be like, we need one of our own. Like that's what
mhm.
it just makes everything worth it.
Yeah, and it's not like, actually, I told my dad I was on the phone with him trying to plan something for Father's Day, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm on the phone with White in a couple hours. We're recording the climb episode." He's like, "Oh, incredible man. He's going to be a great guest."
Now
And
you're
you
putting
know
the
how
pressure on. Thanks, Mark.
yeah, he cares about you deeply. But I mean, it's like a testament of how you are a simpler person where it's not like you need much to really make you feel fulfilled or happy and joyous, and like these common themes of like friendship and family. It's like like you've made such a great life of it and you haven't made it complicated,
Yeah,
and you haven't like let being a small business owner get in the way of the stress at all. It
yeah,
almost seems as if you thrive with controlling whatever you can control, and your emotions, for one, forget the computer, whatever it says with your score, but
Yeah.
it seems like that's kind of like a common theme without your life, like that family, the friendships, and the simplest joy things in life that I feel like a lot of people could take away from, myself included, not getting out of their own head and just like enjoying and living life.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, when there's a problem at work or whatever, I know there's only one solution to it, and that's just to take care of it. Like, not gonna put it off and be like, oh, I'll take care of it tomorrow. I'll take care of it. Like, just put your head out, even though you don't want to do it to the most. Just
Hmm.
take care of it, get it done, and that's just one thing off your chest that you don't have to worry about anymore. And that's what, like, with Nicole, like, her father's a business owner too. So, like, she knows that, like, yeah, some days it's not a typical 9 to 5 job where I'm coming home every day at the same time. Like, I could work six in the morning until 6 at night, or vice versa. And she's understanding of it. Like, if I have to miss a couple of things, because her dad's a business owner as well, and she grew up with it, like the same schedule. Like, you don't have a
Hmm.
9 to 5 schedule. That's what it is, and she's
Yeah.
very good with that. Like, she doesn't get mad about it if I'm not home at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, or if I'm done
Hmm.
early and I want to go play a quick 9 holes. I'll go play a quick 9 holes after that. So
Networking on the
yeah,
course.
yep,
Yeah, and honestly, like that's such a testament to you, because like it's not. I'm not saying you don't get anxious at all, but like that's an anxious position
yeah,
for a young man to like own a business with your partners, or you're also your family, and you handle it really just like quite a professional, like you've been doing it for years. And it's also your livelihood. It's not
yeah,
just like you can like just shut the computer, like, ah, screw it, I'll get to it tomorrow.
yep,
You literally can't.
yeah.
um and I've been reading this book called, like, God, I'm so bad with this. I always say I've been reading this book and I can't remember the title. Like, that's how bad I am at reading. I think it's like the power of now, or the power of right now. But like that's like a big theme. It's just like taking care of things like right now.
Yeah,
And like don't think about anything in the future, because like that's like your future's problem, like what's right
exactly.
now. And I find that to be really effective too. It's just like if I see these emails like today, like a lot of things that I like dealt with were like, this is gonna be a headache. I'm like, I'll just get it over with now. And and I think a lot of people, have been getting like lost in like their own, thought. So is there anything that like you do to keep you honest to that? Or is that just how you've always been? Or, actually I started meditating, AJ, which I'd be shocked because you never told me that, but
No, no, don't meditate. I mean, it's mainly just like with our work, like we have a schedule. Like, it's everything's scheduled for me. I was like, I have these 5 tasks or these 4 tasks that I need to get done this week.
mm,
If, say, for God forbid, Mother Nature doesn't want to cooperate, like, we put in like grace period days to where we can push some people back if we have to, so that we're still on schedule. So we're not just like overwhelming ourselves with like,
yeah.
oh, now we have to work Saturday and Sunday to keep up with everything that's going on, and like, so our customers don't get like mad. Like, if we say we're going to be there on June 10th, like, okay, well, it's June 10th and you're not here yet. You know what I mean?
Mm. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
it's
kind of
like
like
that's
managing it that way.
yeah, that's I'm sure you do that in like real life with your own like personal activities too. Like I
Yeah,
think there's a saying, God, what's it called? Don't let your schedule run you, run your schedule.
yeah,
And you guys giving yourselves that grace period is exactly it too. I mean, it helps. There's nothing I can do until 7 a.m. on Wednesday to get to that concrete
mm,
pour.
yeah,
So I'll handle it then. And if it
yeah.
rains, okay, there's nothing I can do until it stops raining. you know.
Yep.
And then
Yep.
the sun goes down, and it's good that like you're in that line of work where it's like you can legitimately just take it as it comes and handle it as best you possibly can, like as it goes, and kind of let the rest go by the wayside. um that's good. I mean that's something that a lot of people work on like very hard, to like
Yeah.
be present. Myself included. Like I was just talking to Yardley's. Like I time block a lot, but I have to make sure that I'm not just scheduling all my time to like make myself anxious, or it's like, all right, in this time I'm gonna be like working my ass off on this, and then I'm just gonna keep myself honest and work on that, rather than scheduling every freaking minute and being like, I got to do this. Um, and you probably know, like, it doesn't really get you anywhere if you
No, it just adds more stress and gives you gray hairs.
yeah,
Like,
which I do have a few. So yeah. All right. So you mentioned her. Let's talk about her. She's lovely. Your wife, Nicole. Now,
yes.
I want you to speak to. You guys have been pretty lock. What is it? Lockstep. Really, ever since you guys met, and I know Christina came on to the climb. We talked a lot and how important communication was, but our communication is different because she's dealing with a head case and stuff. So, um, can
See,
you, if
I'm
you're
the
okay with
opposite.
it?
I keep everything in, and she wants me to be more expressive. So she's like,
Yeah,
"Talk to me."
yeah, yeah, yeah. There's been times where Nicole has asked me questions in the past, and I'm like, that's just him.
Yeah.
That's him. He
Yeah.
seems pretty good to me. So,
Yep.
what? Well, with that being said, us being a little bit different in that way, what has kind of been, I guess, the strength of your guys' communication or relationship? Because, man, you guys definitely have a couple lessons that people could learn from if they're looking for some.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, in the beginning of a relationship, like the biggest issue between us two was, like the biggest issue in any relationship is communication. Like I'm always the type of person that I keep everything in. I don't like if something's bothering me. I just no one could tell if something's bothering me. I just keep it in until there's one point where I get to like the
You
straw
get
that broke
shoved
the
into a
camel.
closet.
Yeah, the straw that broke the camel's back, and I'm like, all right, I snapped. I'm done, and then just go on a rant. And then like she'd be like, "Why would you talk to me about this before? Like, why are you holding it in this whole time?" I'm like, "Well, I come home, you're happy, I'm happy, or whatever. And even though one little thing could like make me mad, I'm just gonna just dust it over and what? But you only can dust something over so many times until that jar is full of shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
So
almost like there's a fine line, right?
yeah,
There's what stuff is actually worth mentioning, and then like what is stuff that I could process by myself, and it's like,
exactly.
this isn't worth bringing up. I don't want to bring anyone else in this because this is really small peas. And
Yeah,
then what is the stuff that like I shouldn't stomach? But
yeah,
you know, anyone, any guy is probably like, I can kind of get through this, like no
yeah.
problem. So that's a good point.
And then that's what like Nicole would always say. She's like, literally nothing bothers you. Like she's like, she can go out dance party all night long, or whatever, and she'll be like, you don't care if I do that? I'm like, absolutely not. Like I trust you. You know, like you trust me, I trust you. That's like the main thing that really kept our relationship like locked. Like we trust each other with our lives. So well, clearly
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
married now. We're married now and have a little. So,
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was really in the midst of our young days to say that it's kind of crazy because it was like 6 years, 7 years ago when you guys met. But um yeah, it was really like, I guess, nice to see you guys commit to each other.
yeah.
Because both of you come from, different areas. Oh, I forgot to make a comment on Lawson. All
Oh,
right, let me get back to the Nicole thing. But out while I have it, Lawson, everyone, 2041, he's going to be a star. Linebacker, fullback for Council Rock North. All right, so we
oh
can all look forward to
God.
that.
I'm just requesting a transfer.
Dude, you know what? I wouldn't do that with. I, I was about to just pay the biggest compliment to Nicole, and I had to say that. And I wouldn't do that with any other podcast but you. Um, all right, let's get back to that. So, no, what I was saying is like you guys like complement each other like really well, and it's not like you guys are like the same person either. Like, for instance, you got up at like the ass crack of dawn to go work, and she went to bed at the ass crack of dawn because that was her sleeping
Yep.
schedule, and I don't even think it was by choice either. So it was just really cool from the outside looking in, when it was all said and done, to kind of see how you guys literally like form together, and like that is like marriage. And Christina and I talked about, oh wait, like we got to meet halfway. We got to meet halfway. Like you guys literally met halfway in life, and now have a wonderful situation, and that will continue.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, she started slowly. Bedtime started coming down a little earlier, a little earlier. I mean, she could still sleep till noon. Don't get me wrong, but she'll go
Yeah,
to bed at 9 o'clock with me. But as soon as we put Lost in the bed now, it's like 8:30, 9 o'clock, and she's like, "Ah, I'm tired." So we both fall asleep at 9 o'clock,
yeah.
and like
Well,
that.
for the audience,
That's
not because she's lazy, it's because she's a night owl. Way different.
yes, yes,
Early bird and night owl. That's simply what it was. And
yep. So
a night
there's
owl
that.
that would had ice cream in our apartment at all times that I would eat and replace with a bigger carton of ice cream the next day.
It's funny you said that. I just picked up 2 more pints of Ben and Jerry's yesterday.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I can get down with Nicole's snacking habits, no doubt.
Yeah, I know you can definitely. And the cookies, they'll go for me,
Yeah,
and you got the box is gone.
yeah. AJ, do you want some? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, the the M&M cookies, yeah, I'm all over it.
Oh yeah, I mean any type. It's the M&M. Oh yeah, and yeah. All right, we don't need to get into that. That's
Yeah, I'm getting hungry now.
I'm
I gotta
like,
start making dinner.
yeah, right. But yeah, man, like you and Nicole, like I feel as if it was really really cool to see. And at the same time too, both of you guys have giant friend groups, and same common theme. Like you just completely meshed, and you're so for someone that like might like I think my friends might have thought that you were just like maybe like in high school like just a quiet like reserved like that guy's gonna like beat the hell out of me if I say something bad to him, or if I
No,
like met him in a hole he would run me over. Um, but like it just goes to show like when like don't really like like get to know someone because you're open up to anyone, and I
yeah,
think that's like case in point was like my bachelor party was like you and Frank, and it was like, oh my god, these guys are fucking going back and forth like they've known each other for years.
yeah.
um
Well, I think we've hung out
yeah,
like probably 5 times over the last 5 years, if that.
yeah,
And
yeah,
that's the hot pepper at your bachelor party. It's not that bad. His eyeballs are just watering.
yeah.
Oh,
Why don't you tell that story?
so I think what was it, Jake or Alex who brought over that
Jake.
he brought that well, I don't even know what kind of pepper it was. The ghost
Habanero.
pepper, the habanero. And I think Frank was going on and on about just like it's like, oh, you're a big tough guy, you're not gonna beat me up if I don't eat it. And I'm like, he's like, all right, you eat it and I'll eat it. I'm like, all right, you go first. So, like it was just bickering back and forth. And then I
I
think
think
Vince
Frank just snagged it right
yeah.
after you said it, and you're like, no.
No, yeah. Yeah. He's like, oh, it's not that bad. And then Vince was like, all right, let me try it. And Vince
Yeah.
Primavera, whatever. Yeah, we'll get into that later. But he's like, oh, it's not that bad. And he's got tears running down his eyes, and we were all just losing him. Like, yeah, that doesn't look like it's not that bad, buddy.
It was funny. Everyone was like, look, borderline crying
Yeah.
after they had it. Yeah. Oh man. Well, White. Anything else? I feel as if we wanted to get Ty on this to kind of go more into the shenanigans, but yeah, I feel as if like the common theme for this podcast people could take away is that like to be open to new things, new people, and really like the simpler things in life, like the friendships that you keep, relationships you have, and the moments that you share with others. Like it doesn't seem that much, but it's almost like just do that and see how you feel about life, and might
I
turn out
agree with
well.
that 100%. I actually recently was scrolling through Instagram or Facebook, whatever it was, and I saw this good video about like this dude, this professor, and he had the jar or whatever, and he filled it with golf balls. You know where I'm going with this? And he's like, these are the large things in life. Like, is the jar full? And everyone was like, yeah. And then he filled it with like peas, and then it's like a jar full. Everyone said, yeah. And then he filled it with sand. And like once the jar got to the top, he was like, yeah, but if you fill the jar first with all the sand, you're not going to have room for all the golf balls, the bigger things in life, but you're too busy worrying about all the little things.
Dude,
And I,
I that was amazing, and I do love that video.
Yeah, I see
So
that and I'm just like, that is too true. That it's one of
yeah,
my favorite videos I see pop up.
there's some videos that are like, what are we doing in this world? That was amazing. Like,
Yeah,
why can't everyone think like that?
exactly.
So thanks for bringing that up. All right, man. We'll just end it there. I can't say enough about you and our friendship and everything you've done. I mean, we could go on extensively for all those moments, but I appreciate you sharing that one because you did not hesitate. There was no hesitation. If anything, you encouraged me to come in a really, really bad place. And if we had more Ryan Whiteleys in this world, it would be a better spot.
If we had more AJs, it'd be a better spot too. Don't worry.
We'll see.
Yeah.
All right, bud. Love you. Thank you for everything. And everyone, thanks for joining yet again another Climb episode.
All right, love it to you, brother. Take care.